What is Tony Vitello going to do? That's the biggest question in the sports scene right now. So the Vitello Watch, it's in full force, and the expected announcement window has passed. But I don't think he's going to take the San Francisco Giants job, and I'll tell you why. I'm Paige Dower. This is the Sports Page. Let's dive in. Be sure to join us Friday for Live Ball at 8:30 as we preview the Vols and Kentucky. All right, back to this MLB conversation. The main reason I don't think Tony Vitello leaves for the pros is because what Tennessee has, the MLB can't quite offer, right? He has full control of the volunteer program. He has a chance to build a legacy, not just a resume. And of course, you could forget the passionate fan base. And that connection that he has with Vol fans, it was on full display yesterday. I mean, from 7 in the morning until about 6 in the evening, Vol fan Tristin Smith was on campus trying to keep Tony Vitello on Rocky Top. I first met him when I was on my way to football media availability, and I saw him standing on the corner by the administrative offices holding this sign that says, "Built by Vitello," hoping that his silent protest would reach the attention of athletics director Danny White.
I thought, why am I here? This isn't going to do anything, but I hope Danny White hears me and pays the guy what he's worth, because if I had the money, I'd pay him,
Then later in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, Tennessee held another fall scrimmage, and this time there was an online push to encourage Vol fans to show up in support of Tony Vitello. And about 50 to 100 Vol fans showed up, which is honestly an impressive feat in of itself for a Tuesday afternoon for fall ball for college baseball. It becomes even more impressive when you consider the attendance for that fall scrimmage rivals some game day environments before the Vitello era started.
There's more people here right now than some of the games that we used to play back 10, 15 years ago. I mean, he has made Tennessee baseball, it's taken it from a 5 to a 100.
And for Vitello, I mean, you can see it. It's business as usual for the head coach. He's cutting up with the team before, he's running drills before the scrimmage starts, and then coaching them up throughout the scrimmage. But what you can't deny is his love for Tennessee and, of course, its fans. A number of times, he's making his way to the outfield, to the porches, interacting with the Vol fans, showing his appreciation for them showing up, and even a few times, he's throwing baseballs into the stands. And one lucky fan in Willie Mays actually caught one.
Never know, as a Tennessee Vol, it might be the last ball he ever throws out to anybody, so I'll cherish it. And I'm supporting him whatever he does, but I hope he stays at least a few more years.
And then at the end of the scrimmage, Vitello does this. He turns his attention to the porches, shouts out to the Vol fans saying, "Thank you, love you." Then he turns around and waves to the fraternity that still peeks through the $100 million stadium renovations with a flag that reads, "Please stay." Then he heads into the dugout for the last time? Well, that part's still unknown. We do know that after the game and after the scrimmage, Trey Wallace without kick reported that Tony Vitello had yet to make a decision. Ball fans want him to stay on Rocky Top, but an opportunity in the MLB, that's not something you can ignore. Insiders like Pete Thamel and Jeff Passan reported on October 18th that a decision would likely have been made within 72 hours. That window has passed, and when we saw Tony Vitello at practice yesterday, it makes me believe he wants to finish out fall camp before he makes a decision. And for Tennessee, they have one more scrimmage on the slate before it's done, and it's this weekend in Nashville. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's another week before a decision is made if it's not revealed today or tomorrow. Because remember, the World Series, it starts on Friday, and I would be shocked if the news came out at the end of the week. Now, Buster Posey, the Giants' president of baseball operations, said 3 weeks ago at NBC Sports that there wasn't a timetable to name a manager. Of course, that was before Tony Vitello was a front runner. But what they did reveal is that they want a culture changer. They want a player development guy. And that has Tony Vitello written all over it.
Somebody that will inspire confidence in our players on the field, and also all the interactions that happen off the field as well.
And Tony Vitello fits that description perfectly, and it explains why he's a top target for the job. But there's still a lot of unknowns, right? Like, how much control would he really have with the Giants? Draft decisions, trades, coaching staff, these matter. And he really already has that authority with Tennessee. He can recruit, mold the young players, and interact with fans. Now, the Giants' job, it's tempting. MLB is the pinnacle, a chance to live out another dream. San Francisco Giants, they're an historic franchise, a chance for a pro legacy. But the things you love at Tennessee, you can't fully replicate that in the majors. At Tennessee, he's already building that legacy. He could eventually maybe have statues and streets named after him, and he really could become that beloved figure in Knoxville. And he's already on his way to doing that. He took over a program that was hardly a 500 team since the turn of the century, brought the university its first title since Pat Summitt did it with the Lady Vol basketball team in 2008. Since his first season in 2018, he's compiled a record of 341 to 131. So it makes sense why an MLB team would break precedent to consider him, as Jeff Passan reports. But the plea from Vol fans, it's only growing.
Please, 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 ask him what he needs and what he wants.
He's never going to get to enjoy this stadium finish if he leaves now, so he's got at least a couple more years.
For starters, you could consider the revenue share imbalances, the pressures that the basketball teams, baseball and softball all face, the politics and maybe the dark side or downside to being, quote, an everything school. You cannot please everybody. And we're starting to see maybe some of that take form as Trey Wallace also reports that there's some tension maybe underlying between Danny White and Tony Vitello, as he tweeted that there are no dinner plans anytime soon. So it's not a fractured relationship, but it's certainly one that needs resolution. And if not, it could spoil everything else. So what do you think? Do you think Tony Vitello should stay, continue to build the legacy here at Tennessee, or take a chance on this dream in the MLB and try to build a pro legacy? If it were me, if I were Danny White and I have a $100 million renovation happening at Lindsey Nelson Stadium and the guy that's key to that expansion is absent when it's completed, I think that could ring disaster for the program. So again, if I'm Danny White, I'm going to do as much as I can to try and keep Tony Vitello at the program. But we'll keep you updated on the Vitello Watch as things continue. Also, what is going on with Tennessee football? We'll talk about that on Thursday, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that conversation. I'll talk to you then.